Hello. Do we have sound?
Looks like it's loud and clear over here.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
All good? Audience, confirm that you can hear us, please. Yes, we have sound. Excellent.
Yeah.
In that case, I shall welcome you all, internet friends and webcomic fans. It is I, your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist, welcoming you to another episode of Trash Heroes, the D&D stream where we recount the epic adventures of a wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures that we know as the Trash Heroes. Our players, of course, as always, a collection of talented internet cartoonists and artists. Please check out their work. You will see links to the work in the upper right-hand side, Patreons and social medias. Please do follow and support all of our lovely artists. There is also, of course, a Patreon for the stream itself in the description below. And all of those social media and other connections and links are also in the About page, so you can find them at any time, even when we're not on the stream. With that said, no further ado, let us meet the characters. A reduced roster tonight. We are down a couple people, so we're going to do a shorter session. But that's okay because we were about to split the party.
Oh no.
Woo, scary. That's a DM ghost story. And then they split the party. And everyone goes,
I mean, yeah, that's yes.
But so I will not introduce, or I'll introduce them anyway. First up, Keeper of the Vermin, Protector of the Trash Heap, Fetid Quaggle is not here. But next up, we have larger than life pit fighting superstar, Oogna Sugar Tusks.
It's bone crushing time.
Next up, it's the Trickster Cleric, Rogue Baker, and party animal, all around party animal, Tromlandarials.
Hi.
And then there is the wild magic streaming sensation, Morgan the Satyr.
Usually found on top of Oogna, as you can see.
And finally, also in absentia, our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine. These are the Trash Heroes, and we are going to begin with the usual recap. So last time when we left our heroes, the party was meeting, while the rest of the party was meeting with Morgan and having her join their ranks and fighting off some intellect of ours. Fetid was meanwhile busily scouting the sewers for clues about the purple fungus plague and, of course, the dread quagulithid that caused it. He went sneaking down into the deeper catacombs with his new friends, the goblins Licktoe and Wazzlegrot, the tiny tiefling Gup Doomsworn, and the filthy halfling Bert Picknuckle. With a series of truly epic stealth checks, this group of Quaggles managed to bypass various traps and monsters and found a huge chamber with a stone dais in the center bearing an ancient-looking disintegrating book. Fetid used his swarm to grab the pages of this book and with another incredible roll, realized the book seems to contain rituals for the creation of the intellect of ours. He also caught a familiar scent and failed a compulsion to go down a nearby trapdoor into a garbage pit where the mighty trash dragon manifested before him and blessed him with the gift of the trash dragon and explained to him that the quagulithid is in fact a pawn of some greater menace. He then gave Fetid a vision of war and literal fire in the south and charged him to help fight against the threat that will, quote, weaken the walls between worlds. When Fetid awoke, his Quaggle friends had fled, so he found the party, and there Copernicus inspected the book, rolled a nat 20 on Arcana. It was quite a night for rolls, and discovered that the book is actually the source of the corruption that created the Quagulithid from a normal halfling, enabled the creation of the intellect of ours, and started the terrible fungus plague. Fetid then led the party stealthily back down into the catacombs until you all came across the rest of the Quaggles, who were in fact being pursued by intellect of ours. The party fought them off, but not before they took a bunch of psychic damage, and Copernicus got his body possessed. Lucky for you guys, he was out of spell slots and couldn't summon a demon. But he still did some damage until Tromlin stunned him with a sap and used his prayer beads to summon a planar ally, which turned out to be a huge avatar of Dionysus. Asking the spirit to assist resulted in it curb stomping Copernicus to death in order to expel the intellect devourer. And so Tromlin quickly healed his grandpa while Oogna stabbed the intellect devourer, and in return, the Avatar demanded an immediate celebration. And that is where we left off. Immediately, at the point that we left off, Tromlin was baking and cooking some spectacular foods to impress the hedonistic Dionysus Avatar. I believe there was some discussion of potentially sexual favors being exchanged as well.
I mean, I'm more worried about feeding him.
I mean, either way,
Feeding him that
you're
dick.
feeding him,
He's gonna
feeding
have
him.
some sort of pleasurable bodily experience.
That's fine.
And so
I just don't want to make the viewers uncomfortable. That's all I care about.
we can
It would be a
fade to
fade to
black on
black no matter
anything
what.
Speaking
necessary.
of making the viewers slightly uncomfortable, I've got that cover of last week's Intellect Devourer fanfic. If anyone wishes to see it before we jump into some roleplay. Our cameras will be a little bit messed up because I haven't redone them for the people who are away, but I do need to show this
But
off.
please do share.
I do need to show this off.
It's
For
really
those who
beautiful.
might have missed it last time, there was a negotiation that took place, as this is the sort of thing that occurs quite often with trash heroes, in exchange for who was it who actually pitched it? I think it was actually Peter who
think it
said
was,
that
yeah.
if we got 5 subs gifted on the stream, that he would write a fanfic Chuck Tingle style book about Copernicus and the intellect devourers.
Amazing.
And Alina threatened to draw a cover for it, and that threat has in fact been achieved.
Yep. There you are. There you all are.
I need to finish my art.
So
An intellect
So
devourer
enjoy-
devoured my intellectual ass. It loves a smart ass.
enjoy. I'm gonna, yeah.
That's also on our Discord. I'll be posting that finished one for everyone to look at as much as they want or don't want to.
So for certain values of enjoyment, please feel free to enjoy. If you love this kind of shenanigans, please feel free to join the Discord. I'm sure someone can share the link, the permalink to the Discord channel in the chat. And of course, you can look forward in the future to that around 500 word short story from
Amazing.
Peter, which will
Amazing.
be forthcoming.
We would need Peter's permission, but I was going to put the offer out there for anyone who gives 5 subs with this stream. I will send them a mini zine that is that fic with as a mini book.
Ooh, illustrations. Excellent.
So you get the cover printed in color, and then the
Okay.
fic will be printed inside of it.
Ooh, fancy.
All right, everybody. So you heard it here first. On the table for this stream, if 5 subs are gifted in this stream, this will be expanded into a mini zine, and you can look forward to that. I will also mention, as I usually do, separate from these kind of shenanigans, you can, of course, at any point, if you wish, use your bits to cheer for our players. And if the cheer tracker, which you can see under my pretty face, happens to roll over 100%, everybody gets another inspiration, which you can see being tracked below. So the success of the party is in your hands to some degree. So with that said, let me set the scene for what occurs. So Tromlin, you already made a roll. I do believe it was a natural 20
Yep.
to make
Great.
some baked goods, some food.
Yes.
And you quickly bang out some appies or some initial tasties, which you can then distribute to the to Dionysus, the Avatar, and immediately upon tasting these, his face puckers. You'll remember I was describing him as essentially being the ghost of Christmas Present Muppet from the Muppet Christmas Carol. His face puckers in pleasure, and he immediately says, "Oh, what wonderful hors d'oeuvres! Uh, very good, very good. You have been a good little boy." Ho, ho, ho. And he claps his hands, and suddenly mist rising from the various sewerways around you begins to spill out a variety of smaller fairy creatures of the same kind of ilk of Diana. So there are fauns, there are some dryad-like types, and they immediately begin to play some music and start to make merry. And your hors d'oeuvres are a huge hit with them.
Excellent. Okay, I'll just
so
keep cooking.
so let me get a little bit of RP from you guys. What are your goals in this party that now erupts? There's food and drink begins to flow.
I mean, so we're still down in the sewers, right? But does it look kind of Fey-ish now, or is it we're just like a bunch of weird Fey in the sewers?
Yeah, you're still in the sewers. You're not. This isn't like literally an intersection with the Feywild. It's more like he's pulled a bunch of minions out of the mists into
Gotcha.
this place.
Cool.
I mean, my priority is making sure they're all fed and happy. That's my main job.
I'm gonna initially be supplying you with whatever stuff is in my backpack that didn't get crunched on the road down here. So you can
we
keep
do-
cooking.
I know he's not here, but doesn't Fetid have that jug of liquids?
He does indeed, and he will probably like immediately cause it to create the so he pulls it out and he like rubs it to do the magic that he does, and three big X's appear on it, and it just becomes a massive jug of moonshine.
So what I want to do with
Just the
that,
most like foul, fetid, like you can imagine the moonshine that like hillbillies that are of a similar stripe to fetid would make.
yeah. So my great grandfather, gotcha.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm not lying. I'm going to take out my endless pouch of spices, and I'm
Yep.
going to start basically trying to spice it.
Ooh,
So it's probably a bit more to the delicate palates
some mulled
of the
moonshine.
Fae.
I love that other games have alchemy jugs, but we have a barrel of assorted liquids.
Yep.
It's very on
So
brand
do
for
I
us.
do a D20 roll for that, or
For like a cooking roll basically for the
Yeah.
spicing. Yeah, for sure. So the usual roll of your wisdom plus proficiency bonus.
all right? I'm gonna get my dice out. That's not bad. It's a plus. Was it +4 or +7? It's 4. Oh,
For crafting lane?
Sorry, what was the
what
total?
is it?
A
I rolled-
proficiency proficiency plus wisdom.
Okay. So
Imagine you had a skill that you are proficient in. It's basically tool use, right? But it's
yeah. So it's
tools
a
that you
+6
are
total
proficient
then, right? 6.
in. 3 and your wisdom. Well, your wisdom's 4, 7 plus 7 total.
Okay. 23.
Nice.
So, like I said, I'm just trying to make sure it's to their liking because I'm not sure that they'll particularly enjoy a fetid drink.
Honestly, you see them like initially, he gets his jug made and he puts it on his shoulder and like hooks a finger in it, like all, you know,
It's another
like
reason I want to clean it up a little bit. His finger went in it.
yeah. No, I mean like he's got his finger through the ring
Yeah.
of the jug and it's over his
Okay.
shoulder and he's like using it to pour into little Like he pours it in his hand at first and like takes a drink, and then he pours another go in his hand and offers it to a fairy, and they kind of like look at him like a little. And you think, oh right, you guys probably want like some sort of cup or drinking vessel. Um, and the fairies are kind of looking at him amused, like, oh, mortal drinks. Oh, how droll. And then the first like fawn like takes a little drinking horn sip, and then like suddenly eyes go wide, and he sits down hard on the ground with
Good.
like little cartoon spirals over his head.
Good.
Um, and as they like are like, oh, this immortal, and of course Fetid. In case anybody missed it last time, because of Fetid's new gift of the trash dragon, he is now entirely immune to poison damage and the poisoned condition, in addition to his advantage on all saving throws versus toxins that he imbibes. And his iron liver feat that makes him basically able to act completely normally even when drunk. So he's about as resistant to alcohol as it is possible to be in the game mechanics. So he's just like swilling this stuff down, and he starts happily getting fairies drunk.
Good. While this is going on, Oogna is sidled over to help Tromlin with getting some appies together, and is going to lean in really close at one point and be like, "Hey, these guys, they're not Quaggles, right? Like are they, like fairies?
They're not what?
They're not Quaggles, right? They're like fairies?
No, they're
or
not.
something?"
These are Fae.
Okay,
These are Fae.
You told me a thing to do, or maybe to not do, when we met Faye, if we met Faye, and I can't remember what it is.
Don't give them your name.
Oh.
Your real name.
Okay. Right.
And honestly,
Right.
just be polite, deferential. If they pull pranks on you, smile and take it. It's just better that way.
So, like, going for dinner with the fancy people in Mud Hollow.
Basically, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
So this is probably a good time to start the first poll. So I'm going to ask the players to step out of the chat. Good timing. My Shadow DM just sent me a reminder about the poll, so
Gotcha.
we're on the same page.
I'm
So
out
please
of
do
the
leave the chat.
chat.
The first poll is about to begin. So to the audience, as always, I will give the little spiel. The poll is live. It will run for 10 minutes. You can use your channel points to vote multiple times. Everybody gets a vote automatically for free, but you can vote additional times using your channel points. I highly recommend doing so because you get to decide what crazy crap is going to happen later in the game. So it is coming along, and the votes have begun. Excitement.
Terror.
Bring them on in, folks.
Terrified. I'm sure everything will go fine.
I would like to network.
Nice.
Oh, indeed.
Nice.
And in fact, it is valuable for me to bring up at this point that some interesting things are going to be going on here. Tromlin and Oogna, mostly Tromlin, but Oogna too, will notice fairly quickly that as this party gets underway, a lot of these Fae folk who have been kind of stepping out of the mists to join the party, which are a variety of kind of, like I said, lesser folk, some fauns, some sprites, a few little brownie / gnomic types, a couple of dryads, and similar folk. They're actually being fairly deferential to Morgan. Oogna, maybe this doesn't really click with you so much, but Tromlin, you immediately catch a couple of like nods, and even a couple of like the smaller, the most sort of meek of these creatures actually fully bowing when they encounter Morgan.
So someone's Fae royalty then. Someone's part of a court.
Oogna probably notices, but she's just like, yeah, of course, this is Morgan the satyr, obviously.
Yeah.
Famous Twitch streamer.
Yeah, right?
As we all know, Twitch, of course, in the game, standing for Thaumaturgical Web Integrated Telecommunications Channel, and it's a fairy powered crystal ball streaming service that you can get.
You can also watch it in the streams
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean
Yeah.
that's what streaming means. The fairies like will like like it's mostly naiads who do this, right? They're always streaming.
And they're hot
Uh,
bitches.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You can sell their
yeah. People call
bathwater.
it Twitch streaming or Fayweb,
Good, good,
basically.
good.
Yeah,
Yo, you got tickets to the Fayweb?
yeah.
Yep.
Are you on the Fayweb? Yep. Excellent, excellent.
I'm not sure what skill set would be networking.
Well, I would
Or-
say that this sounds like social type roles. Can you let me know what it is exactly you have in mind for outcomes?
Well, I was hoping to gauge folks that are like slightly above my social status that I could possibly gain favor from. Not
Currying
so
favor
much-
is definitely a thing you could do.
Yeah, not so much, the big boss. I'm not looking for that kind of commitment right now.
The big boss here is not that big of a boss. Like, so this is an avatar of Dionysus. It's not Dionysus himself. It's not a godling or anything like that. This is the output of the planar ally spell. So he's like a mid. He's probably the only Fae here who is like a clear line to some useful favor. But some of these others are like not like absolute nobodies, but everybody here is like a Seelie Fae, right? They're all sort of spring, summer, hedonistic party time folks.
Basically looking for sponsors, people who want to gift me things to possibly be featured on my stream, be mentioned, be seen, that sort of thing. Have their tales told. Kind of that sense.
You get product
Yeah,
deals,
for sure.
get promo.
Oh,
Product
like-
deals. Product deals.
Oh,
all
definitely.
The
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Have you tried the new toadstool? Toadstool. It's good for you.
Everyone should eat toadstools.
Hmm.
Votes to come in chat. I see a few votes, but we could definitely turn this into a competition. I'll note as well that we have a tendency to get a lot of votes right at the end. So if you really want something to happen, we're more than halfway through. We have about 4 minutes to make things happen. Got a clear early favorite. Let's see where it goes from here. Okay, I'll tell you what then. So currying favor. Now you have the striking looks, of course, but amongst the Fae, that kind of just is part of why they're happy to see you like one of their own. You also have the likable trait, which is going to help you kind of immediately get off on the right foot. But I would say some just straight up persuasion checks.
Can I assist?
Persuasion and some insight. Yes, you
Nice.
absolutely can. So you
Right.
you see this happening, Tromlin, and you're perceptive enough. Actually, you know what? Make me an insight roll, Tromlin, and I'll see sort of like where you are in terms of realizing what's going on here.
I'm a charlatan. I would assume I have a good idea.
Oh yes.
You're also kind
So
of
insight.
Yeah, insight against a
it'd
set
be
target.
dirty 20.
nice.
Okay. That is sufficient to overcome what I would call like a passive persuasion from Morgan, as well as like pretty good just generally against a target number. Like 20 as a target is pretty good. So I would say, you quickly cotton on to this fact that Morgan is definitely recognized by the Fey creatures as being like someone of some import. Um, you don't get any sense of like a specific like chain of command. And in fact, you quickly realize that Morgan is working the room
Yeah.
um, and trying to like, you know,
He's probably
there,
pulled the bend and snap at least once.
yeah,
Good, good, good.
exactly. And so you realize that Morgan is like in her element, but is trying to make use of this opportunity to sort of build some clout. So you can absolutely assist.
Yeah. I'll assist.
Um,
Character story wise, it's basically if Trumlin sees someone kind of holding out, run over, fill their cup, ply them with the best food, make them
oh,
comfortable.
Nice.
Kaitu says Morgan is trying to earn brownie points.
I mean, not
My
wrong,
God.
but still.
Bravo, bravo.
2
How
minutes
could you
left
say
on the
something
poll,
so
everybody.
controversial yet so true?
Hmm.
I figure Tromlin being a charlatan has done this, but on both sides.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Not as like not among the Fae. This is like a level up, but certainly like you spent a lot of time in areas like the guild hall and like
Mhm.
the casino and pleasure palace in Mud Hollow, where you've done exactly this kind of thing. Um,
yeah.
um, maybe aiming another level up at the Fae is a little risky, but you're certainly into it. Oh, we're into the final competition, and it is now a tight race, everybody. You got your last maybe 30 seconds on the clock for votes. And of course, with Tromlin's aid, the brownie points can be literal brownie points because he's a baker.
That's true.
Uh, dun, 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 dun,
Why?
dun.
Why?
Hey, hey, everybody! It's Trash Heroes. This is what you signed up for.
10 pounds a
is.
minute.
I made my roll. The dice is 13. Persuasion is 8.
Okay.
Doesn't the assist give them
Oh yeah, sorry. So Raven, you have advantage. Did you roll
Oh,
twice?
okay.
Oh,
No,
nice.
I will now. Lower roll 6.
So your high roll is 14, you said?
13.
13, and then you have a +8.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you're going to potentially guide yourself to make it a little
Oh, if I can, hell yeah.
grease. You can grease the wheels with the guidance before you talk to people, so you can give yourself a D4 on top of that. So you're already at 21. Let's see where that D4 takes you, and I'll make some insight rolls against you and see if anybody is gonna cotton on to what you're
3 on
doing.
my D4.
Okay, so you're at 24.
Ooh.
You even have beaten the Avatar himself's insight roll.
Nice.
good?
My best roll, which was for the Dryads, is an 18. They might have an insight in that general ballpark, but at worst, one or two of them kind of gives you a little sidelong, like, "Oh, I know what you're doing," kind of look. Um, but they don't interfere because they're like, "This is what I would be doing." In
Yep.
fact, this is what I am doing. Like one of them will actually like coattail you and like kind of come put her arm around you and sort of like be just immediately be like wing girl and get in there and go, hey, this person is like making some inroads in the social ladder. I am going to be a rung on the rung underneath and go, huh,
And
yeah,
I'll also be just
laugh at your
making
jokes.
consistent prestidigitation rolls because we are in a fucking sewer.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Clean me
you're
up,
doing a
clean me
lot of
up."
that.
Yeah, it's just like where I go will be clean and
Yep.
scent free or sweet smelling.
Yep.
Good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and actually, you'll find that the fairy mists are kind of acting a little like that. You're not in the sewer proper anymore. You've gone below that. You've gone deeper into the catacombs. So things are kind of like dank and wet and and like fungusy, but not like literal raw sewage everywhere,
Okay, thank God.
right? There's a few like every once in a while as you've been going through the tunnels. There's like a stream or a rivulet or a fall that's coming from further above. But this area is not the sewers themselves. These are the weird natural caverns underneath the city of Dummerdal in that black rock of the Broken Lands. Um, and someone like in ancient ages past has carved passageways and stuff through here. So there's a mixture of natural caverns and full-on um, ancient dungeon. I see that poll is over, so feel free,
Safe to see the
our
chat.
players, to head your way back into the chat. It's all good. The poll is no longer visible, and thank you very much to the audience for giving me some guidance.
Oh, thanks for the resub, MLIS. You've been here
It's
since
one
the
sub
beginning.
down.
Oh yeah.
One sub down. 4 more subs. We're gonna have some art happen. So, Morgan, you quickly ingratiate yourself with the Dionysian avatar himself. Um, and you can, I mean, he's a pleasures of the flesh kind of guy, so I don't know how far you're going, being like, a sex cultist and all that, but we can fade to black whatever you wish to fade to black. No need for graphic description, but you can give me a general idea. Um, I don't know if Tromlin is assisting with that to that level with his
I
aid
mean,
action.
let's see. What are my flaws?
You both have the hedonistic flaw.
Yeah, so I probably would if
Uh,
I
I
was
mean,
asked, or if it was, I thought that she would want that. I still wanted to hear the boundaries and not make her uncomfortable.
She won't invite you, at least this not this time, but she
That's
does
fine.
have a deal or offer for the avatar,
Ooh.
being a review process. If you would like to have an honest review available to the public within the cult
within
itself,
30 days.
within the cult itself, or
We'll give you a Yelp rating.
basically in gossip on the streams.
Oh,
Um,
an interesting note then. To what degree are you going to openly mention the cult? Like, are
oh,
you going to try and sell like Dionysus? Are you going to evangelize at all? Because I'm just curious to what degree that
mm,
information might trickle out to the party.
oh yeah, I would be making the gestures to see if who is involved or not within the room already. I would assume that he would already have a relationship with the cult. Um,
Not necessarily, right?
okay,
This is a specific cult of mortals,
yeah.
and maybe or may not he has some connection to it.
Mm,
How about this? In the interest of not getting too graphic,
mm,
you can easily get individual fairies alone,
mm,
and in various ingratiating ways,
mm,
which will give you plenty of opportunity to use your, as we have been calling it, slut cant,
mm,
um, to and then that failing, to move to like overt. Hey, have you heard the good word
mm.
uh, about the
Um,
BSSM?
her goal would be first to make some sort of deal with the avatar, using Slutcant to see if he is with the cult or not.
I'm going to roll for his level of knowledge in this area. I'm just going to randomize something here and see. I mean, okay, so he is not aware
Ooh.
specifically of the cults. But when you start moving from like the cant into more overt, it becomes clear that he has had uh, um, interactions with mortals that, when you get some description of them, you realize to be connected to the cult.
Okay.
So, in other words, he's probably been a spirit that has been summoned in sex magic in the
Mhm.
past. Which makes sense.
Okay. She probably just wants to sugar daddy him then, in that case.
Absolutely. Um, so because your rolls are good on this, I'm going to say that yeah, you managed to kind of get a little of a little ingratiated, uh, not necessarily like an open boon has been offered or something, but you definitely get like some positive clout. Um, Less specifically with this spirit, because this is kind of like a summoned ally spirit who's going to like return to the Feywild after this and kind of
Yeah.
cease to be, at least in like the in the fully materialized sense. So what you're more doing here is gaining a little bit another tick on the belt of ingratiation with the Seelie side, which of course is your preferred side of things anyway.
Yeah.
So and then when it comes to some of the other kind of lesser fae that are here, more specific interest, because these are actual fairy creatures that kind of dwell on this plane as well as the Feywild, like these dryads. Um, I would say that what's kind of coming out of all of this is that like something of an orgy erupts to a degree. There's a certain amount of that kind of thing going on in one part of the party, and a whole lot of drinking games. Fetid starts like some
Oh, hell
serious
yes.
drinking
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Uh, he starts his usual sort of betting pool of like the classic fetid you bet me I won't eat that kind of thing that he does. Yes, Fetid has the iron stomach background feature, and it has traditionally been a motive of income for him to eat things that people bet him that he won't.
Also,
my
just to
God.
set some more flavor here, as Oogna's snacking on some of the like amazing pastries Tromlin has set out for folks, I'm gonna see if I can get like a dance circle going on. I don't have any instruments or anything, but I'll like drum on something.
Oh, and in fact,
Get a
there
party started.
several of the Fae that came through were playing instruments. So
Perfect.
there is fairy music occurring.
Perfect.
Um, so you do in fact find it a little difficult to stop dancing once you get into
It's
it.
fine.
Uh, uh,
Why did I
Tromlin,
picture like 2000s slash late 90s breakdancing only?
Hell yes. Hell yes. In fact, I will make a performance roll to do some really good breakdancing.
give me a performance roll as Oogna creates a
Hell
fairy
yes.
mosh pit.
Hell
A
yes.
fairy mosh pit is going to
I swear to
nucleate
God,
around Oogna.
If you bring out a hacky sack, I am gone, okay? Like, that is not my type of face scene.
I rolled a 16, but I have a +5.
Good.
So
21 is
21.
solid. 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 Yeah, your I don't know, crunk
Yes.
style
Correct.
antics
Yeah.
immediately nucleate a fairy mosh pit around you.
I've got like moonshine in one hand, and I'm just like punching the fist in the other air, in the air with my other hand, and dancing everywhere. Whatever these guys are playing, it's a great beat. Love it. I'm here for it.
Copernicus as well is going to try and kind of be politely hanging around all of these activities. I don't think I think dancing with the fairies is probably on his bucket list, so he'll kind of like awkwardly old man dance at the edge of the mosh pit. Every once in a while he'll kind of like kick someone or just smack them because he's like, I guess that's part of this process. I'm not entirely certain. Performance is absolutely not his forte.
Oh no, Morgan. Oh no. Oh no. Do you teach Oogna to twerk?
Obviously.
Because I'm just picturing
We
that
are
scene
having-
from She-Hulk.
We are having that
That
moment.
not
Hell
completely.
yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
okay. So the She-Hulk scene
She-Hulk
occurs
scene, correct.
with a slightly less
Yeah.
green giant lady and
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 slightly
a
better
savory
twerking.
version of Morgan
With
V.
all the
Satyr.
technology, that's as far as they could go with twerking for She-Hulk. I was clearly disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, TV, man.
Yeah.
At least
Gotta
they
keep it clean.
mocapped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's got to keep it clean so much as the budgets aren't.
I guess.
There's definitely a Marvel making all this TV kind of aiming high, but it doesn't have the film budgets, and you can really tell.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, for TV budgets, I've been pretty pleased.
I'm definitely drawing that as a warm-up drawing this week, though.
Oh, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Just
Hell yeah.
literally a screen grab from the TV show, and then draw the same scene, except it's Morgan v. Satyr
Yep.
and Oogna.
Yeah.
Correct.
Bam.
Done.
In fact, somebody is getting that drawing. I'm stating it now. That's the drawing that we're going to draw for at the end of the day here.
Good.
So,
Alright.
Good.
speaking of subscriptions, if you don't know this, audience, subscribers are entered into the draw for artwork from our lovely players, and so that is the specific piece of art that is now up for grabs because that's got to happen.
Yep.
Obviously.
It would be on a longer timeline,
Obviously.
but for 5 gifted,
A time
I
time
will
on that.
animate Morgan twerking.
Oh, hell yeah.
I suggest you save that for next
Let's save
time
that for
because
Next time,
game.
okay.
Hell yeah.
The next game.
Yeah.
we've already got a
That's true, we already have
sizable
our prize. Yeah.
we have a sizable prize for this one, but you hear that, audience? Animated Morgan twerking.
I
See,
just
you
picture the
subscribe to
little
Trash
tail
Heroes.
Just like
Yeah.
flicking
Yeah.
after every twerk.
Completely. I mean, I've already animated Jane from DBD.
Oh my
twerking.
god.
If you look at any of my past VODs, she's just twerking there forever.
Nice.
Excellent. Good. Good.
See, this is why you sign up for Trash Heroes content because you get literal porn, literal
Yeah.
D&D porn happens.
Only on that
All right.
secret private Discord. Well, not private Discord. It's just a regular Discord, but it's a not safe for work channel.
So I've got some like activities happening here around Morgan and around Oogna and around Fetid, Tromlin. So
Yes.
at some point, the avatar of Dionysus will be looking for a an actual, perhaps more physical payoff. That doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. That could just be like food orgy occurs, but it obviously could be both.
I mean,
Morgan will
Tromlin's
whisper
not
over to
opposed.
Tromlin.
what? What, Raven?
Food fight.
No, Tromlin's not that type.
Food
That would actually
fight.
piss Tromlin off desperately.
Wasting food.
Ooh, much respect for the food.
Yeah, that would put Tromlin. That would make you Tromlin's enemy at that point.
That's so sad.
Um,
Disappointed in you, Tromlin.
I mean, I'm trying to think of what Tromlin could do. Like, can't do the whole eat food off my body because I'm covered in fur.
That's not
Which
going
one's
to stop
half
anybody
fun?
in this crowd. I mean, half of these people are fawns.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, I guess Tromlin would probably start off like, well, since he is Dionysus, hand feeding him, like.
Oh,
making him
that
feel-
goes down very well.
Yeah, and actually probably does it with some of the other fawns as well. Like as it goes around, like, oh, just imagine like, if Tromlin again, he is a hedonist, putting like food into between his teeth and having them bite the food away from him.
Excellent. That also goes over very well.
Yeah.
You'll in fact fairly quickly attract the dryads.
Hell yeah.
Who will be looking to exercise their deal. And in fact, as I recall your previous encounter with such beings in that one pocket Feywild in the
I'm gonna make some more Fey babies.
No, but I think what's going to happen
Babies.
here is you're gonna kind of charm each other.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna get you to make me 2 DC 14 Wisdom saves.
Okay.
And that'll be their magical charm version of what's going on here. But then
Well,
I'll
I'm
turn the tails afterwards, and we'll see how they fare against you.
question. Is the poll done? I want to see how much inspiration
Yep,
I
yep.
have.
Poll's good. You can go in. You're good.
You
I
got
just didn't
one.
want to like go in and
One.
root.
Oh, you're down to 1.
Okay. It's fine. Down to 1. Well, one of them for sure is a success. The wisdoms.
Yeah, wisdom saves. You've got a +5, so you're in decent shape. You only need to break a 9.
Okay, yeah, I got a 21, and then I got a 16.
Beauty. So you are in good shape in terms of resisting. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you don't like get it on. It just means that you don't. You are not formally charmed, magically charmed by them in the process.
I do want to use that as a flirtation of acting like I'm more charmed, and when they start getting too comfortable, basically try to turn tables.
So, do you want to go so far as to use a charm on one of these creatures, or are you just going to go with your? So you have the social,
From
yeah,
speech.
yeah, you have the social ability of the diplomat power of when speaking to someone for over a minute, you can do a persuasion versus insight to charm.
Yeah,
So
I
let's
don't
go
want
for
to use
that.
spells. I'll be honest, if magically trying to charm someone into wanting me seems a little sketch
Yep.
in and out of
Well, and
character.
the Fae are doing it almost, well,
Reflexively.
not almost, subconsciously, entirely. Just it's
Yeah.
their. In fact, the trigger
Oh,
of it is
no.
when you look at them.
Oh no. Is that
So,
a wisdom?
do you want to
Oh
roll off
no.
against these dryads?
Oh, no.
I think maybe
Depends
that
on
should
if
be a
they are
thing.
targeting me.
Give me one
Sure.
roll just at some point during the party.
Sure.
Morgan,
So my
I'll get rolls from you as well.
charm speech. What I need to do for
Okay,
that?
that's a fail
5.
from Oogna.
That's a
Uh,
5.
I'll get a couple. So yes, Randy, I'll get 2 persuasion rolls from you, one for each of them. And
Oh,
Morgan, I'll get the 2 wisdom saves from you also. Oogna, you might as well make both wisdom saves. Make the other
Sure.
one too, just so I know
Sure.
whether it's one or both.
Oh god, that's a 7. I'm doing great today, y'all.
Both of them. You are quite
Yeah.
enamored of these 2 ladies.
Woo.
hold
I
me
got
roll.
a 7 and a 13.
Look, I'm starting to see what Glorpa saw in plants. That's all I'm saying.
That's a 7 and a
I'm
13
just gonna
hard
show
roll.
you my rolls. Can you see
No.
those?
Holy crap.
Nice.
Holy crap.
Damn.
You're a dude who has dealt with some
A
Fae before.
30 and a 28.
I rolled a 10 and a 10 and a 4.
Damn.
Raw rolls 10 and 4.
Yeah.
And wisdom save. So that's a 13 and a 7.
Mm.
I think you do get a bonus that's going to put you over.
I thought
The
it was like
13
a
will make
mute
it.
effect.
Oh, right. I think you might. No, I think you have advantage to save versus charm. So you get to roll again.
Okay.
So roll with advantage. So each of those rolls gets a second go here.
Yeah, so my persuasion rolls were pretty nice.
What do we got?
The first rolls.
Oh, the second rolls were worse?
Oh no. Sorry. This one's a 17. It's a dumb. Sorry. It's a really pretty but dumb dice.
Yeah, hard to
Oh,
read.
yeah.
So the one is a 17. The other one
So
was
that's
a
a-
1.
Dirty 20. So yeah, so the one roll, that is a high roll of 7. So you fail against one of these ladies and are quite charmed by that one. Tromlin, I was about to let you know that because of your cantrip, you actually have advantage on both of those rolls, but you really don't need them. You've already got a 20, so
I
you
don't want
can't
to
roll
roll them
higher.
anyway, though.
Reroll the
Let me
18 in
just
case
check.
it becomes a 20. Because you've got a 20 already on the
That would
first
be
one.
hilarious.
It should be noted that the one I failed against that charmed me was
It
the red one.
18 became a 17, so we'll stick with the 18.
So I rolled 19 against you, but their bonus is not as good. So you still have successfully. You very much charm them. So let's break this down, everybody. This pair of lovely green ladies, these dryads, are extremely enamored of Tromlin. Both of them. Um, Oogna is extremely enamored of them,
Correct.
and Morgan is extremely enamored of one of them. Morgan, do you want to turn the tables at all? Because you also have um, various magics
Um,
that you could use. You can charm back, for example.
I'm gonna steal that girl for sure.
Okay, she has the same advantage to resist that
Mhm.
you had. So I will roll, but you have a pretty damn good. Oh, my high roll is a 7. I think the plus is going to be way not enough.
I'm competitive, so I'm guidancing for sure.
Well, you
Should
can't
I be
guidance
like?
her saving throw, but you can certainly give her a penalty. But you don't need to
Oh.
because your save DC is 17. I rolled a 7. I don't have a plus 10.
Okay.
So
And here's a question: do I want to be a dick?
it's up to you. So effectively, what's happening right now is that these two green ladies are very into Tromlin,
Yeah.
and one of them is very into Tromlin and Morgan.
And I'm trying to
Um,
catch their attention. I'm like that guy at the bar who's all like, yeah, I definitely wrestled this one guy and I won, and I'm two-time champion of the mud pit. Did I mention the frog queen?
Frog Queen.
Um,
And I was like
Did I
trying to
mention
get
I'm the
them-
Frog
I'm
Queen?
trying to get them to pay attention to me.
apparently,
It's
Trollman
desperate.
is going to attempt to re-steal. So what do I need to do?
What do you mean by re-steal? You've already charmed.
Okay, that makes so they're both charmed to me.
No, we're
Yeah.
being
No.
competitive.
Frankly, she's trying to get you both. She's trying to turn this into
Oh,
like
okay.
a
Well, that's Trollman's fine with
threesome.
that. I don't care.
because like
Trollman's
you've
fine with
both
that.
charmed the same dryad, so she's basically going, well, there's an easy solution to this problem.
Boys, plenty of me to go around.
The
Rookie
other
doesn't
dryad,
express this, but she is worried about being related, so she's gonna back out.
you can
Fair.
so you have
Fair.
two options. You have two options. You can back out, or you can
Yeah.
do the keep a person length between you at all times strategy.
I think she might just go flirt with Oogna because Oogna's looking really desperate right now.
Like
That's the thing you can do.
Almost pathetically so.
Yeah.
My bird fell off of the couch and he couldn't
Oh.
figure out how to get back up. So I had to go
Buddy.
rescue him.
You had to pick him up
That's
off the
like The only
ground.
time Trollman
Yeah.
hasn't put Oogna before himself, he's like, "No, I'm getting
No.
laid."
Fair. That's fair.
So just get all like satyr competitive.
Yeah.
Well, let's start. Are you guys wanting to let's actually maybe do like a roll off in terms of like where this lands, and then if it looks like it's going to be pushed into a threesome situation, Morgan will back out. So just to establish this,
Okay.
No, she didn't immediately succeed. Fuck it.
well, that's the point. We don't know if you
Yeah, we don't know if we're gonna fuck it.
figure out, we got to figure out if you immediately succeed. Let's have the competition.
Okay.
So both of you have successfully charmed this dryad, who's like very much attempting to fulfill her fairy purpose with both of you simultaneously. So let's have the convincing attempts individually. Tromlin's, I'm sure, will immediately turn into, well, I don't care if other people are involved, and that will turn Morgan's into I'm out. But let's see where it lands in the first place.
Trollman
So
is
I would
definitely.
like-
I do not care.
Yeah, I'd like both of you to just roll me a persuasion versus a target insight that I will create, and we'll
Okay.
see who succeeds harder.
I'm bringing both of the dryads drinks. They gotta snap their fingers, and I'm gonna get them a pastry. Like yeah.
I rolled a 16.
I roll a 16 as well, but I have a plus 10.
Okay, so that's tight.
Ooh.
Are you
100%.
guidancing this?
Hey,
I will, for sure.
did you roll a straight 16 or what's your modifier?
Straight
I rolled a
16
straight 16.
plus 8.
Mine's
So you,
it's a persuasion.
yeah, you are within. Tromlin's at like a total of 26, and Morgan's at a total of 24.
Ooh.
Morgan, are you putting the D4 bonus on it? Is
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
question.
Don't I have the same ability though?
Watch you
If
two
you want,
tie.
if you want to
I
use
do
it,
have the
both of
same
you roll a
ability, and
D4.
I would do it.
Let's see it.
Wait, no.
So roll
I
your
don't have to do
D4,
that. I
Raven,
don't
and
have
tell
the
me what you get.
guidance. I don't have the guidance actually.
Why?
Oh wait, no, it's not. It's only attack rolls, right?
Oh, that
Oh,
you
are
can
you
use the
talking
silver
about?
mist on?
Are you talking about like really be fuckery here?
Yeah.
How fuckery
I
do you want
don't
to get
know
with your fuckery?
if it's a roll.
Well, give me the rolls for the guidance first, because you would have both done that at the time that you were charming.
Mine's a 2. Mine's just a 2.
Okay, so that puts you at
I did
26.
very well. I got a plus
A
4.
4. So you're 26 to 40, or 30. Sorry, is the current. Um, uh, uh, uh. So yes, ability checks are included. So Morgan, if you see Tromlin doing particularly well, you do have the option of using silvery barbs
I will, and I'll spend a spell point to make it silent.
to make it subtle, so there's no obviousness to the. Okay, so Tromlin, I need a second roll from you. You have
It's
been
just a
forced to
reroll.
make a reroll.
I'm just picturing like
And use the
a
lower roll.
bar down in the caverns.
The guidance
Fairy lights
stands.
going
The
on in the
plus 4 from the
background.
guidance. Yeah, plus 4 from the guidance stands. It's just the D20 that needs to be rerolled.
Okay, that's good. Got a 17. Thanks.
Oh damn. Okay.
Up by 1. No, it was worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
And just because I'm the DM and I like to mess,
No.
Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
if you wish, you can Tides of Chaos this,
Oh no.
or
Actually,
bend luck, or
we
both.
should do a wild magic roll. Actually.
Yes, this. So basically, you can take a wild magic surge to re-roll your failed roll
Yeah.
and potentially get higher. And you can also spend up to spend 2 sorcery points to make a D4 penalty on Tromlin if you want to.
But I
won't
notice
spend-
any of this?
Well, the
This is a
wild
lot of
magic will be
going
wild.
around.
So
I know,
far,
I'm
the
just-
spell
I'm
effects
just
are all
picturing
subtle.
this scene of
Yeah.
like, so the Oogna was dancing and the dryads like charmed the hell out of her. Now she's following around like a lost puppy, and then they come up to the bar because they're like, yeah, whatever, we already got you, whatever, go away. And then they're flirting with both of you, and you're flirting back, and there's this like flirt battle happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And the poor
Yeah,
dryad caught in the middle is like,
I'm not done here. So
Yeah.
I need a decision from Morgan. Are you going to spend 2 sorcery points to penalize Tromlin or not?
I won't.
don't have
I won't
to.
do the sorcery points thing.
Okay. Do you want to take a wild magic surge to re-roll your D20 and see if you get better?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So do that and make the roll. Tell me what you get, and I'm going to roll on your wild magic surge.
Oh my god, I rolled a 2.
Nope. So you have to
Nope.
stick with the high roll, which was a 16. So not quite.
That's good.
Very, very good, but not quite.
Yeah.
And I need that very good because my next step is going to be I need an insight roll from each of you for collateral damage.
oh no.
Oh no, are we hurting people's feelings?
No,
Are we exploding? Are we going to blow up?
no. Let's just say that you are both firing. You both brought like shotguns to a pistol fight. And you're both standing in the same area while you shoot at the same target. Put it that way.
No. Is this a Sabat
I
firing
rolled a
squad
15.
situation?
I got a 22.
What was your total, Raven?
15.
Does that include your bonus?
No.
Okay, so that actually becomes, you have a very high insight. So 15 becomes a 24. Neither of those is high enough.
Oh my god.
Well, because you both rolled, so you got a 24 to resist Raven, to resist Tromlin's 30.
Ooh.
And Tromlin, you got a 22 to resist Raven's 26.
Fair enough.
No.
So basically, what I'm saying is, as you both compete to throw your charm at this one dryad, you are also both finding the other pretty charming.
Mm.
Good. 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 This is the most
Shotgun.
satyr battle that I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's like imagine a group of supermodels and two
Yes.
supermodels try to like flirt with the same other supermodel and
And they're
eventually
like,
realize that they're hotter than the supermodel they're flirting with.
I mean, Trauma's down, but
I'm just saying, you're all finding the dryad target has charmed you, but you're also finding each other pretty damn charming as well.
Oh my god, you guys. Oh my god.
And hang on, I gotta roll this wild
Tromblin
magic
is-
surge.
Tromblin is Zoolander and I'm Hansel.
Oh god.
I'm sure Dionysus is enjoying this show.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh,
He
for
lives
sure.
for this. He's a
Okay, that's
bitch who
boring.
lives
I'm
for
rerolling.
drama.
Yeah.
I'm re-rolling because I rolled something that won't actually do anything. That's my usual.
Oh no, not that.
Just checking the chart.
I'll be right back. I need the restroom. Sorry.
Yep, no worries.
I like that it's the Muppets theme because we are just a bunch of Muppets right now.
We are
Yep.
definitely.
I mean, well, you're also like seducing a giant Muppet was part of
Yeah,
the
that's true,
story
yeah.
here.
No.
This is giving me very strong Muppets burlesque vibes. That was one of the best fringe shows I've ever been to.
There is a play right now at the theater I work at. Sorry, it is by Ronnie Burkett, who does like stringed puppet
cool.
shows.
Rad.
One of his most famous puppets is of like a washed out like actor / burlesque performer. It's pretty great.
Amazing. Amazing. The Muppets burlesque.
Oh my
was great because
goodness.
There was one person that was like the lady's legs, like real lady's legs, but then her top half was in black, and the Muppet kind of came up from her waist, and so she could like put a leg on your table and then get like the little Muppet
What
arm
the
and like
fuck
put it
did
on
I
your shoulder.
refer to?
Oh my
Muppet
god.
burlesque.
That burlesque show that Alina and I went to.
There was also a Muppet
Okay.
that was like this guy in a trench coat, and then he would like open the trench coat, and a great big Muppet dick would flop out, and you're just like, what just happened?
He was like,
Perfect.
"Meh," and it was part of
What
the yeah.
happened?
He would just randomly go through the audience,
Yeah.
flashing people. So Morgan, the wild magic surge. There's a puff of purple smoke. During this process of flirting, that like centered on you, poof, and you actually de-age. You become several years younger.
Oh no.
You in fact appear you appear to be 21.
Okay.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. That's
Yeah.
okay.
I could have rolled a little higher, and
Yeah.
it could have been. It's a good thing your character's
terrifying.
28, because
Yeah.
if you were already 21, you'd be like a preteen
child.
now, or not a yeah, and that
You
would
would be
that would
ejected from the
change the
party.
dynamic
No.
Yeah.
very very
No.
much.
Be
That's
carried out by Oogna, but
kill
not in
the
the fun
vibe.
way.
That would be a party foul.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
Uh,
yeah. So she, in losing, will be graceful and not bitchy. Surprising for me, but it is
Well-
it is my character, not me.
So here's the thing. So the Tromlin is basically winning over this dryad. She's not going to go off alone with you, but she's still pushing pretty hard for both. Why can't we have
What
both?
about a satyr sandwich, though?
I also point out, Tromlin, I want to point out to both you and Morgan as you're going after this one dryad. There is a second dryad here, and also Oogna, who is like really hardcore puppy dog eyes, with both of these, like really trying to get the attention of these dryads. And while the dryads aren't like going, "Yeah, fuck off, get away from me,"
Yeah.
because that's not their nature, they are charmed by you and Morgan and are therefore a little more focused there. So you're in a good position to potentially do some significant wingmanning, is what I'm saying.
Woo!
I could, but I'm also a hedonist.
It's true. And
You
you
could
know,
have all of the above.
you haven't had any action lately, whereas Oogna
I'm going
fairly
to roll a
recently.
die. I'm going to roll a die. And if I get evens, I'm going to be good. If I'm odds, I'm going to be selfish for once.
Good.
I think Tromlin might be due some selfishness.
I think so. You've been taking care of your kids for ages. I'm sure you need a night out.
I rolled
Yep.
a 1. Sorry, everybody.
Good. Be a dick. I love it.
I mean, Tromlin would still open to like the option of, hey, if you want to get in on this, you can.
So
To
then that ball is then therefore going to Morgan's court.
I will graciously decline. I'm full up on dick tonight. Thank you.
Fair enough.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Which one? Plus.
Morgan.
Oh, I rolled a 3.
Okay. You are going to basically lean into the hedonism here. So basically you really, really want that dryad. You really, obviously, from an intellectual standpoint, have reasons that you don't want to get in there right now with Tromlin. So you're gonna like really lean on, like you basically are going to go, where's that avatar of Dionysus? I need to find an alternate, or maybe you can comfort Oogna, because you definitely see that
Like-
happening.
Oogna
Yeah.
was my second choice. Sorry, Alina.
That's fine. That's not.
Oogna doesn't have the magic shit going on here.
No.
True.
Okay. All right. That all being resolved now, I can.
Back to the disco where all of this flirting
I
was
can
happening.
carry
Now
on.
that
That
we're
was
done
one of the most
shipping.
intense battle
No.
we've ever had in this
Right?
game.
No, but it's great. Okay. So here is what happens. The evening progresses. You will all get a long rest, surprisingly. Probably
I
has more to do with
That.
it's more to do with like the general kind of like air of the fairy mists here than anybody actually getting a lot of rest.
Okay, before we jump past the party though, so there's like the scene at the bar where they're out flirting each other, and then Tromlin eventually goes off with the dryad.
Plural.
Dryad.
He goes for he
Good.
rolled for the selfish. He gets
Yes,
he's got
good.
them both.
Excellent. And I while he's looking, I'm like, yeah, you go, buddy. Woo, have fun.
Yay.
And then you head off to like an alcove somewhere. And I'm like, oh, I'll sort of sit at the bar and do the like sad thing. Have a glass of moonshine.
Yeah. And then
And-
that's when Morgan sweeps in.
Right.
Like, oh, buddy, I understand. They were really hot, weren't they?
They were so hot. Like,
Yeah, but you're hot. Like, don't worry about
No,
it. You'll
no.
definitely find someone. You're just like,
no,
you're so pretty. I can't believe how like
you're just
easy
saying
you
that.
are. You're like so strong with the way you carried me.
Yeah,
Carried me. That was really nice.
I'm not.
I wouldn't
I'm
mind
not
another go
good
at that,
looking, but I'm
actually.
strong is the one thing I can do real good.
And then she's just gonna be like, I wouldn't mind doing that again, and then we'll like roll her own persuasion there.
Good, excellent.
Yeah.
Do you
I'll flex for
you are
you.
player characters.
Yeah.
You can choose if
Yeah.
you want any roles to be involved here or not.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm relenting. So there's that thing where it's like, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, like you're so good looking. I'm not really. Like,
Perfect.
put me in a dress and it looks weird, but you're super pretty. You're so pretty though, and like she's had a few moonshines, but it doesn't seem to be affecting her a lot. Because I also have an iron liver.
It's ironic that we have a chef, like a reasonable chef,
Mm-hmm.
and then a bunch of people that can eat anything.
Yep.
I wonder if he ever questions, are they?
Are
They
is
eat
my
What's
food
the
actually
point?
good?
Yeah.
I noticed Tromlin cooks a lot for like people outside the party, and I think that that's maybe validation because he's like, well, my grandpa doesn't eat anything, and like
Everyone else will eat
Fetid
anything.
will eat anything, and I need
Yep.
validation that I'm actually a good cook and not just like listening to people
Yeah.
like, who go, hey, this is really tasty. Also, so is this heap of garbage.
Correct. That's the thing. Oogna's not drunk on
That's-
moonshine, but she's like 10 cinnamon rolls deep by this point.
Oh my God.
That is
Perfect.
the best
I
way
got
to describe
frosting
that.
on my nose.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good.
Okay, so here's what happens. So the dance party gets picked up. After a bit of dancing with the Fae, I made some saving throws. Copernicus um, uh, is lost track of.
Ooh.
Now the rest of you are all
God.
very distracted by satyrs
Yeah.
or satyrs by dryads, and by like big burly avatars of Dionysus. Um, so the dance party eventually engulfs Copernicus. Can't really engulf Oogna because she's like twice the size of everyone else dancing. Um, so eventually Oogna is able to sort of extract fairly easily. Um, because of the whole thing with the dryad, I'm going to waive a saving throw against the dance, the music, Oogna, because that whole thing. I think the power level of those two satyrs and the two dryads, the sexual magnetism over there vastly outrules
The
the
dance.
the call of the dance music. Copernicus, on the other hand, uh, is not seen again in the dancing maelstrom. Um, uh, the drinking party or the drinking games will quite consume what's going on with Fetid. You will all catch glimpses of Fetid throughout the evening. Um, Early on, strutting around with his moonshine and like getting fairies quite hammered. Later on, he bounces by like inflated like a balloon and bright pink with yellow polka dots. Um, at another point, he will deflate and go like by like a released balloon. Um, you'll see him again later, having one extra arm and an extra head and two extra tails. Um,
He's into that weird shit. It's good.
as he
He's gonna be really part
variously
of the internet.
partakes of fairy imbibements that he probably shouldn't.
Oh yeah, there's a part where we're dancing, Morgan, and I'm like, oh yeah. If anyone asks, I'm Olivia Pancakes. Yeah. Just
Olivia Pancakes. Got it.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
What should I call you?
Morgan's fine.
But you're not supposed to do that, aren't you? Like, give him your name.
That's not my real name.
Oh, okay.
No.
Cool.
That's a secret, though. That's a secret.
Cool. I won't say anything.
And meanwhile, Tromlin has used like 7 different names already by the stage of the interaction. I'm picturing Fetid like going by in the background, like with the extra head and arm and limbs, like looking dismayed at one point, and then you see him like later going the other way, but now he's like delightedly like using the extra limbs to cram way more food into the extra mouths, and is like, "This is the best." Eventually, you lose track of Fetid as well.
He's
Of
in a food
course.
coma under a table somewhere, I'm sure.
Or
Yeah.
like frankly, you eventually kind of lose track of everything, because it's definitely a fairy party. So there is an eventual kind of blackout is going to occur to pretty much everybody
Ain't no party like a
involved.
fairy party.
And at the end of your long rest, you will awaken lying kind of in a heap. The three of you variously entangled, no sign of the dryads, no specifically sexual compromising positions, but just sort of lying in a pile like you were variously involved in a massive food slash dance slash sex thing
Post
that
Shambhala,
happened.
basically.
Yeah. And so you just
Yeah.
kind of wake up lying in a heap with your various, limbs poking out in various ways, but no sign of Copernicus and no sign of Fetid. In addition to the three of you, there are the rather filthy form of Bert Picknuckle the Halfling is in your heap, as well as the two goblins, Wazelgrot and Licto, but not the other goblins that you had encountered and rescued from the intellect of ours. And there's no sign of the little tiefling either.
Right.
So
Trey's
you are
still here.
you're down to three quaggles. Trey is like sleeping off to the side, like contentedly, like none of this ever happened.
I let him off leash at some point, and he just wandered around.
Yeah, yeah. He's just like lying. He's like got. You can see a tail of some kind of sewer rat in his mouth. He's just like happily lying there, cooing to himself. And also, a ways away in a different direction from the owl bear, on a little rocky outcropping, is sitting a very fluffy, large, fat cat with almost glowing green eyes as it just ignores you studiously and licks itself. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Scandinavian fairy cats.
Forest cats?
So good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good.
the forest cats that some call fairy cats that have like the really, really fluffy,
So fluffy.
otherworldly look to them.
And, they're big
Um,
And then
bodies.
just
They're
these
large
glowing,
cats.
almost prismatic eyes. And he's just sitting there calmly licking himself.
Tromlin will offer the cat some fish.
If you,
Anyone
as
see
you
my
come near the
pants?
cat,
Is that Lane?
sorry, I was just gonna say this is probably a good, so I don't want to interrupt the role play. Oogna is
Yeah.
missing pants. I imagine everyone's missing at least something in terms of clothing.
Oh no, Tromlin's butt naked.
Good, yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Tromlin
Morgan will
spent
be-
the evening not just being satisfied with the charming a little bit, was basically reciting love poetry to both of them in Sylvan. He was just trying to see how
Good.
far he gets.
Get it?
It worked. It worked very well.
He is. I'm gonna make some half dryads.
Oh,
Excellent.
Trauma's gonna have so many illegitimate kids.
I mean, we don't know how many he already has. Who knows?
You're the bard of our party. Even though you're not a bard.
And yeah, the when you go near the fairy cat, it will sort of be licking its paw. It'll stop as you approach and just stare at you. And when you get close enough with a piece of fish and kind of offer it, it'll look at it, sniff, and then just kind of like jump down from the rock and like walk away from you with a little swish of its tail in that sort of like, no, not good enough kind of typical cat way.
Alright, I pull out one of my pastries. Pastries. How about this?
It continues to ignore you. It stalks off a little ways away from the rest
Oh,
of the
yo,
party.
you still got some of those pastries?
Yes.
Here.
Yes, I do.
I'm like still lying on the ground, just like one hand up. Grab it. Eat it.
Can I try to figure out what a fairy type cat would want? Treat?
You can. Let's roll a. This would probably be an Arcana check. It's not your strong suit, but you can try.
I will use guidance then.
Yep. So roll a d20 and a d4, add it together, and then you've got a +1.
+1. Let's see. Okay, that's not the worst.
Total?
It comes at 18 total.
Ooh.
Not bad at all. You definitely realize that this is a creature known as a fairy cat. It is a fairy spirit. It doesn't necessarily eat because it is a magical being. And so you realize also too that it's going to be like the distilled essence of cat, right? So like the idea that it's almost certainly going to be turning its nose up at almost anything you offer it.
Contrary
But
AF.
it does, yeah, it's going to be contrary AF, and it's not particularly in need of sustenance. So you may take that how you will. You may take that as a personal challenge that you're like, I will find some way to tempt this
The
cat,
fairies just
or you
enjoy,
might take it
like,
as a yeah.
if it's a
It's going to
fairy
enjoy
thing,
being a
I'll start
dick.
try playing a song for it.
Ooh.
Pull my panpipes out.
Excellent.
Your panpipe's already out, sir.
Yeah, your panpipe is no. The panpipe is what he's playing. That thing's the bassoon.
This is gonna sound dumb, but I'm using my inspiration.
On your
I want-
performance.
Yes, I
Go
want the
for it.
cat to like me.
Good. The best use of an inspiration ever, actually.
Good.
I want the cat to
That's
like
my-
me.
Performance.
I've
Just a
definitely
performance.
in real life used
23
resources
total.
to procure cat affection.
Excellent. With your +7. Yeah, you play music for a while, and it stops cleaning itself and just kind of sits there and stares at you while you play for a while. Doesn't seem to be like moving further away.
Does it like loaf and watch him through slitted eyes? Like a cat?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, eventually it'll sort of like just kind of settle down on the rock and stare at you. Eventually, when you kind of like finish the song, it'll kind of lash its tail back and forth a couple times, and then it just slowly vanishes. Full on Cheshire Cat style. It just disappears, starting with the tail and then moving up until there's just the glowing eyes kind of sitting there, and then they fade into suggestions of light and nothing more.
I used an
dang.
inspiration on that, and I don't regret a single bit of it.
Nope.
I was gonna try a persuasion of some kind, but I was gonna do it a different way. But if the cat is gone, the cat is gone.
Yeah. It was you. I mean, it was there for a while during this song. Was there anything particular you wanted to do
could've
during
done
the
something while I
song?
was performing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do a persuasion, but with consideration to cats in a way that ignores it.
You want to do like that whole. So I would call that an animal handling rather than a persuasion, because you're
Oh,
gonna
that's
basically
cool.
treat it like a cat
Yeah.
and go, here's a good way to make friends with cats. Make them think that you don't care about them,
Yeah.
and sit there and kind of
Oh,
ignore them so
I'm
that they'll come
allergic.
over
Don't
and
come
start
near
looking
me.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can guidance that if you want and make an animal handling check,
Sure, I'll do that.
and we'll see. And that doesn't interrupt the song or anything, so you can do that during that period.
That's only a 9 on the roll, plus 3.
And then the D4, did you roll, or is that what included?
Oh, so it's an 8 plus a 1.
Yeah. Okay. You can't really tell if that really had an effect. Like you sort of do sit there and kind of like ignore it enough to hopefully get its attention, but
Doing prestidigitation
not
on
sure if it
myself,
worked. Yeah,
Brushing my fur,
Good.
exactly.
combing my hair.
I've been semi-entranced by Tromlin's song, but also trying to get dressed, and so by the time the song ends, I've got my pants on, but I'm trying to put my arm into someone else's shirt, and it's just not working. And
Your pants are on backwards.
yeah, I got a sock
Sure.
on my ear. It's fine.
If Tromlin notices this, he's going to walk over and help Oogna get dressed.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. So
I am-
you do
I am
so.
looking waist up only, and I might like put like a towel around you. Take the shirt off of my arm and like kind of drape it on you.
Okay, Trellman's trying to
Remember?
not like look in appropriate places as well.
Yeah.
So
That's funny. You're trying to help Oogna get dressed, and there's just like Oogna tits everywhere, and Oogna's like blushing
Yeah.
bright. Wait, what's red
big
plus
old muscle
green?
mommy.
What do you get when you mix red and green? I don't know how that works. Yellow?
Kind of brownish.
Blushing orcs look jaundiced.
I mean, it's not like we haven't seen each other in our underwear before, though. We are roommates.
No, but I
Right.
imagine this song and dance is not the first time
No,
is
no.
like
It is not the first time that the two of us have woken up after a night of partying on the floor somewhere.
Mhm.
I'm sure there have been moments of, did we? Let's not ask.
I
Let's
don't
not
think
ask
so.
that question.
I don't remember anything. I don't know.
honestly, you all might have that moment because you definitely have some blanks in your memory. Partying with the Fae has that effect, and you just all woke up in a heap. So
Who knows?
Tromblin, no regrets.
Yep. Oogna, maybe one regret?
yeah, Oogna and Morgan might both have like some.
No
Small
regrets for
amount of,
Morgan,
like,
but like there is some familial feelings
No,
towards
I mean,
Tromblin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Morgan's still unsure about Tromlin's parentage, and Oogna has a brotherly affection.
Yep.
So there's
I mean,
probably both a little.
Morgan could
Meanwhile,
always
Tromlin's
ask.
like, everything's great.
Morgan could always ask Tromblin about his parentage, and he could assure her they're not related.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe that will happen.
Racist to think that all satyrs are related.
And then they all have a monkey.
You telling a satyr that satyr is racist against satyrs?
Yes.
I imagine
This satyr
that
hates
during
satyr.
Wow.
this
I look forward to
party,
your
at some
TikTok
point,
series where you satyr splain.
Good.
excellent. Excellent. I am going to presume that at some point during the night, when Morgan and Oogna had some degree of interaction, but maybe that is entirely forgotten
Did-
by now.
Did we hook up? Or did we just make out? Unclear.
A, it's up to you guys, and B, if you want, you don't even have to decide because you don't remember everything that happened during the fairy party.
True.
So I leave that entirely up to you.
Cool. I am up for anything, but the question
Wait,
is
did I at
how
least get
hard
the
did Morgan
dryad
try to
name?
get into Oogna's pants? Because you have to try almost not at all.
Morgan failed the hedonism saving throw.
Fair.
I will point out.
Did I get the dryads' names at least?
Probably not, because they weren't really particularly interested in
Talking?
using them. Yeah, or talking. You didn't get their names because you all had your mouths full.
Of snacks.
Yes. Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, like because like this was very much that kind of
Which
that
cream
kind
was
of
involved?
celebration. Yeah, which of the deadly sins was being explored at the time?
Once we're
Now
all
I've forgotten what I was
dressed,
going to say.
Tromblin will happily. We're dressed. Tromblin will happily make everyone breakfast.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I do want to kind of establish. So you don't remember everything from the night, but you don't necessarily forget everything from the night either. So if there's any particular information that Morgan wanted to get out of Oogna during their encounters, that is it's almost difficult to avoid.
Oh no, yeah, I'm a talker, especially when I'm nervous. Just
fair.
I will just word salad at you. Like. Also, I don't know if you've probably got a damn good insight. Oogna's exceedingly gullible, so like if you tell her just about anything, she's on board.
Nice.
Morgan, in fact, has the empathetic feat, granting insight kind of beyond the pale. Why
Um,
don't you make me a an insight check just so I have a baseline?
duh!
Is it a nat 20?
Is that a good?
Or is it a 1? It's a 1.
Okay, well
Oh,
you do
no.
get. I was gonna say you can roll that with
Advantage.
advantage.
She wouldn't have thought that. Oh, okay. I was gonna say she wouldn't have guidance that because she wouldn't think she would need it.
No, but you do get advantage on it with the.
Like, I am
Oh
an
man, these
open
rolls
book.
are awful. It's a 6.
Ooh.
Okay, well that is still a 15.
Yeah.
And the target would be Oogna's deception.
The information that she'd be interested in, unfortunately, is probably not going to be well siphoned through Oogna, but she'd still be interested in it. She's like curious
Let's go.
about the sources of magic for her party mates.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But also like Oogna not the smartest or a magic user, so she might not actually know.
Well, but I would love to hear.
Yeah.
So Alina,
Please.
quickly roll me a deception with disadvantage because of your gullible flaw.
How did I roll that good?
Oh, really?
The low roll is a 15, and I have a +2 deception.
Okay, in that case,
My God!
How did I
in
do
that
that?
case,
She learned a lot from the
I
party
rolled
last
15
night.
and 18, which are like almost
No,
as good as I could have rolled.
Oh my
this just
God.
means it's going to take longer for this information to trickle out, and I have no problems with that.
Ooh, I learned my lesson from that tabaxi.
Yeah.
Ah.
So Morgan has options to mess with that roll if you want, but
Oh no, she would not.
that's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, then in which case, so that doesn't mean you get no information. It
No.
means that you can temper
Correct
what
it.
Oogna, like Oogna can choose not to reveal things that Oogna shouldn't
Yeah.
reveal.
So let's do some pillow talk here after some like cave fucking. We're still sprawled in an alcove somewhere. What are you asking this dear sweet green girl?
Oh, I was just wondering.
Oh, hang on, why don't we take our break here because we're a little
Sure.
overdue.
Yeah, actually, I can hit the bathroom.
And that gives you a moment to think about what you want to talk
And
about.
we'll have a little convo when we get back.
Perf.
Awesome. We'll see y'all in 10 minutes.